okay, I have my camera, my lighting is good, I have my setup now, and I need to do a script. Excuse me, what are you doing? I'm creating a script, preparing what I need to get ready and what I'm going to say. You don't need to prepare what you're going to say. This is art, creativity, emotion. Yeah, but you must feel the paper in your hands. I don't think you must become the paint. Be the paint. I'm not sure. A script is a sacrilege against all and any creation. I think it's wise to have a little guidance on how you want your tutorial to teach others. Nonsense. It's about expressing your inner soul, feeling the process go through you as you glue the lace to your page. The burning inspiration of divine creation. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Carrie here from KRLC Studio. I am really happy to have you back with me today. We're going to talk about scripts. You're probably thinking to yourself, Carrie, do I really need one? This is only a tutorial. Well, before we get started, you need to understand there are two different kinds of tutorials that you can make. The first one is a journal with me kind of tutorial where you have all of your supplies on your desk. You hit the record button and you just basically create as you go along. You don't really need a script for that one. However, you should be preparing all of your supplies and what you're going to do and planning out a little bit of having the supplies ready at the hand. The second one is a teaching tutorial where you're teaching someone how to do a certain technique or teach them a new skill. This one you do need a script because you need to understand your step-by-step process that you're going to show your viewer. But for today, we're going to talk about how we can do a script for a tutorial that you're going to teach someone how to do a new skill or a new technique. So come with me to my computer and I'm going to show you how to do it. Here we are in my Microsoft Word, and I've created this example script and supplies sheet. I did a tutorial last week called Creating an Art Journal That Lays Flat. So I'm just going to use this as an example for today's video. First of all, I did an intro to my video and I indicated whether or not I wanted a headshot or my hands. And I put headshot here. Also, I put no music, so I didn't want any music for that. And even though there is music in that video, I'm just showing you this as an example. So I would write out what I want to say as my intro. So, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is, or today I'm going to show you how to, and you're going to go through the list of supplies right here. You can do it just by text, or you can do it text and your face, or you can completely just do text like a slideshow if you want to. You also want to make sure that in your introduction, you're adding any information that the viewer needs to know. So why are you choosing watercolor paper as you're explaining the supplies? Why are you using tacky glue and not any other glue? Or maybe perhaps what's the best fabric to use for the spine? Or this information would be obviously relevant to this tutorial. But you can add your own information that you find that your viewer needs to know that's relevant for them. Then we come down and there are supplies and it's hands only. So when I record, I know that I'm only going to be using my hands and not a headshot. I write out all of the supplies that I do need. And this is really helpful to write all this out because sometimes we do things so intuitively that we don't realize, oh yes, I need to get my tacky glue and make sure that the tip is cut off so that the glue actually comes out. Or, I need to make sure that I have my heavy tile or my heavy books to press or whatever it may be. Because in the middle of your tutorial, you don't want to all of a sudden realize that you've forgotten something and then it's in there. If you have forgotten something, please stop the video, go get it, and then start the video again. But just knowing what your supplies are and then making sure all of your supplies are where they need to be and everything, this will help bring the quality to your video that your viewer really appreciates. We go further down and then it's my process step by step. And I'm not going to go into a lot of this on here because I'm going to show you how to do that in the recording and editing. But you want to write out all of your process step by step. Now, you're probably thinking, why would I do that? I already know what I'm doing. I've done this 100 times. However, it's good to write it out because doing it intuitively with no one watching or a camera not on while you're sitting at your desk is very different than sitting down and going through step by step for a viewer on film. And that is a very different experience. So I really suggest that you write out your process steps so that you are covering everything, you're doing it as neatly and as professional as you can. So some of the steps is obviously introduce the name of your project. So that's really important. Just having your picture of your thumbnail of your completed project isn't enough information. You need to tell your viewer what you're making and what you're doing with them today and what you're going to be teaching them. You're going to go through the supplies. You're going to quickly demonstrate the first stage or the first step. And in this step, it's gluing 1 or 2 pages together. While your pages are being pressed off camera, then you're going to demonstrate how to glue the scrapbooking page to the cover. You can speed this up, or you can show only the starting and stopping of the gluing if you want, but no one wants to sit there and watch you glue or whatever. And remember, I'm also learning how to do this better as well. So yeah, I'm still learning myself. And you get the idea, just sort of all of the steps that you would be showing them. Your outro here is what you're going to say to them. So here I haven't actually put down whether it's a headshot or my hands. You could be showing your completed project and doing your outro off camera as well. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new today, or until next time, happy journaling, however you want to end it. But you should be ending it with an outro. Just ending a project and then cutting off your video, that just seems a little, cold. So you want to be as personable as possible, because the more personable you are as well, that's what your viewers will relate to and come back and watch. If it's just like, here it is, this is what I have, and then cut off, then why should they invest their time? Because obviously you haven't invested your time in them. So it's a relationship, it's a rapport that you're trying to build through your tutorials. Here's a few tips for your scripts. Don't mention, please subscribe to my channel and why. Now this is a personal preference. However, I have also done my research, and there are many creative YouTubers that have said that incessantly saying please subscribe to my channel is basically counterintuitive. Everybody knows how to subscribe to your channel. If they like you, they will like you and they'll subscribe. If they don't, they won't. Basically, telling people over and over to subscribe and any of the buttons and clicks and everything, I find that really distracting to what I'm trying to teach my viewers. So I don't use any of the bells or whistles. I don't verbally say please subscribe. I don't put any of that. I have a very small little subscribe button in the corner of my video, and that's it. Once again, completely up to you. When you speak, it should be very natural, like you're talking with a friend. So practice not sounding like a robot, and it does take practice. I'm still learning that on my videos, and so the more you do it, the more confident you'll become. Printing off your script and saying it out loud a few times, many times, so it's fresh in your mind, is a really, really helpful thing. And being comfortable with the words and almost having that muscle memory of what you're saying, and that will really help you as well. If you need to speak for a longer period, put it up in front of you, so behind your camera. So not necessarily your whole entire script, but if you need to make a point about something that's really important that your viewer needs to know that you're doing and teaching them, then maybe, just the word or a few phrases up on the board, if you can, behind the camera, that you're looking at it. But once again, you don't want to read the script on the board because you're not looking in the camera at them. You sound robotic and you're not personable. So it's a fine line. It's a balance, and you have to balance it. You're going to practice before you turn the camera on. If you have some important information that you need to tell your viewer, say it in chunks while you're recording, and it's easier to edit later. With this tip, you will never ever turn off your video while you're doing this and recording in chunks. You keep the video running, but you yourself will stop talking. Collect yourself and then continue on. So it does help with editing. And finally, when you write out your supplied list, it's easier to copy and paste that into your video description when you upload your video. And many viewers really appreciate that. It just shows your viewer that you're putting a little bit more quality into your work and providing not only the video, but lets your viewers know that you really care. And I think that's about it for scripts. I hope that made sense and brought some value to you today. Our next episode is how to create a video intro. I really hope that you join me next week. So in the meantime, remember, a little bit of what you fancy does you good.